Hello and welcome to my 8th episode in the series of electronic tutorials. In this video we're going to be talking about motors, and more specifically we're going to be talking about 3 important motors in the world of electronics that can be commonly found and are really important to understand. So let's get started. Alright, so now that we've covered brushed DC motors, let's go on to the next one, which is the DC stepper motor. So this motor requires a controller which tells the motor to rotate its shaft in small partitions. Some of its advantages are that it has precise positioning on the shaft, and there's precise speed adjustment. So this motor is typically found in printers as they require precise measurements, so like to print the header and to print the words spaced out, so it gives it a good precision. And an interesting fact about the DC stepper motor is that if it's 200 milliamps per hour, I think, it runs on less than 12 volts of power, and this could be a really big advantage because it requires less current. Alright, so now that we've covered the DC stepper motor, we're going to move on to the servo motor. And this is a pretty simple motor. It's generally used with the programmable microcontroller, which I mentioned in previous videos and will continue to mention. So basically a microcontroller sends instructions to rotate the shaft, and this kind of works just like the DC stepper motor, except it keeps it there, like it rotates it and keeps it there. In the DC stepper, usually the rotation returns back, and it's more precise in the DC stepper motor. The servo motors are generally not as precise. Alright, so that was pretty much it for the video on motors. Just to give you a quick recap, we went over servo motors, DC stepper motors, and we went over brushed DC motors. We talked about certain advantages for either motor and like what they're used for. So the brushed motor was used in smaller devices. The DC stepper one was used in printers and devices that require more precision, and the servo motor is generally used with programmable microcontrollers, so places where you can find a need for controllers. So I really hope you understood everything about motors. It's a pretty important concept. If not, you can rewatch, ask any questions in my comments, or email me through the website. Alright, so thanks.